All right, so MLB The Show just came out. 1989. I know he loves that. And I do have a baseball channel, which I have not been throwing out there a lot to people because I kind of wanted it to build it organically and that sort of thing. But I have a channel pretty much that all I do is post baseball. It's very, very new. I just kicked it off really. So if you do get an opportunity to take a look at that, it's basically Mazique on baseball. I can actually throw the link into the description. So I've been playing the baseball a lot, pretty much as I always do. I actually, you guys probably wouldn't believe this, but my first love as a sport was baseball. Like I used to actually dislike basketball because now I grew to be 6'5", but I used to be really short. And like I was short for a long time. And so I don't know, maybe that's why I didn't like basketball. I don't know. So, but baseball was my thing. And I was actually pretty decent at it. So I've been playing it on there. I put the link to the channel in the description. And I don't know, Nelson, you said that you were going to give it a chance this year.
Yes.
So I don't know if
in fact, I haven't played it yet, but my buddy Jason Battle, aka Amuse Create Bay Area Mine online, he's been playing, and I was getting a lot of information from him about it, seeing how he liked it. He loves it, first of all, and I am going to get into it. As you know, I'm in those division streets right now, and I do have a full-time job, so. I played a little bit of 2K this week. I haven't played any division yet at all this week. My gaming time has been really low. Because of work. So, but I anticipate getting into the show probably this summer. It won't be super soon, but I'll probably get in there this summer.
Yeah. I don't know. You have to tell me what mode you're looking at trying first.
Road to the show, 100%.
Road to the show. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you if it's cool. I'll tell you kind of like I'll give you a little bit of a.
Okay. Yeah, educate me and the people. Let's go.
With Road to the Show, right? You know how a lot of people are tired of 2K's My Career story, right? They feel like they are kind of held hostage, so to speak, by the story. And they're like, hey, I just want to kind of break loose. If you play Road to the Show for a few years in a row, you'll get to the point where you miss that story.
Okay.
Because Road to the you know what's really interesting about the show? And I've been kind of writing this and touching on this in the articles that I've been writing about the game. It is amazing how this game, in its brilliance, still has some of the same problems that Major League Baseball has. Right? Major League Baseball's biggest issue right now is its the perception that the game is boring, that the game is slow, that the game is dull or bland. And that is pretty much what dogs MLB The Show. Like I know Ronnie 2K is not necessarily everybody's favorite person in the public, and like a lot of people like they feel like he might get on their nerves or whatever, but you see his purpose when you see other sports video game vehicles that don't have a face on social media. And the show doesn't have a face really. Like Ramon Russell is the closest thing to it, but you don't ever feel, to me personally, and this is coming from somebody who has been following the game forever, right? You don't get the feeling that they are ever really giving you any real information. And then when they do their Twitch streams, they are like the guys are really nice and they're likable, but it's so bland, bro. It's like listening to, I don't know. It's like listening to like a really boring audiobook or something. Like it's bland. And the stagnation in Road to the Show in that mode itself, it not much of it has changed over the years, right? They tried to dance around having a story by kind of putting in some text-based stuff, and this year they implemented the personality traits or you can be like a maverick, you can be a heart and soul, you can be a captain, and then there's one other one, and then that's supposed to kind of shape your relationships and your conversations as you move through your career. But none of it really moves the needle overall in adding some flavor to a mode that is desperately in need of some flavor.
So,
Now,
all right, let me ask you a question. Let's hold on that point for a second. So, keep your thought. So, a mode that I've played through this year, probably 5 times maybe, was UFC's career mode.
Okay.
And this was the reason I played through it so many times was mainly to try different styles and to fight against different fighters in different weight divisions.
Right.
Right. Now, the thing about that mode, it reminded me of way back in like almost the 2K9 days to a degree, where there was no story really. The story is just your progress. That made it easy to play the mode over and over because the story never got in your way. And it was more like, really like the Division, where I'm just chasing the next upgrade the entire time. And the game just needs to give me a little splash of feedback to make that upgrade more enjoyable, right? Make that next step more enjoyable. Right. So when you go to a prospect level, the game gives you a little reward. When you knock somebody out, they show you the GIF on, Twitter, the video game Twitter. They give you a little reward. Does the show do that well? And what does it need beside that if it does it well?
It does do that well, actually.
Okay.
That it does very well. And you know what makes it what feature that I wish all sports video games would copy that it does really well is it has carryover saves, right? So you start your road to the show guide. You could have started it on MLB The Show 14, and you could literally be carrying over that same character year over year throughout their entire career until they retire, which is freaking awesome.
That is awesome.
I mean, just freaking awesome, right? Like, I really feel like that is I've actually talked to people at 2K about doing that and why they don't do that. And I've been told that there are some limitations that come if you do that from a player model standpoint and that sort of thing, because it can't change too much because it has to be transferable. But I would argue that 2K's player models haven't changed that much anyway.
Well, you know what? Even if they had, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And my thing is, if I was just able to play on the same team I left, have my stats transfer over, had my general archetype and role on the team transfer over, and play the next part of that player's career. So instead of playing the rookie the first 2 years, I'm moving into that next contract. And they had a late game. So like, my late game endorsement deals, my late game power in the league, my late game social media stuff, all of that stuff I had access to. If my player face changes or I got to reformat my wingspan to make it transfer over, I don't care. Just give me something.
You're right.
And the thing is, that might not even be the first thing I do. Y'all might have an awesome My Career story where I say, hey, I want to start a new character. And then after I get bored of that character, I might go, I want to play last year's character now.
Yes.
I want to bring that. I want to do the import game and bring that character along and not have that time go completely reset at the end of the year.
Dude, I've been saying that for the last 5 or 6 years. I've been pitching and asking for that with 2K for the last 5 or 6 years. I just think that it's the right thing to do from a customer reward standpoint. People put a lot of work into those characters, and a lot of time into those characters, and to have it just completely go away every year, I could see, you lose some points, maybe 5 overall points or something that you got to build it back up.
You could go one way or the other. Either you could give me no attributes and all my badges are there, or you could give me all the attributes that I got to re-earn my badges. That's fine, but give me something.
Yeah, give me something. But
give me something. Yeah. Maybe my badges get knocked down to bronze or silver or whatever, but give me something.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, it does. The show definitely does that well. And like 1989 just pointed out, the carryover saves are also for franchise mode as well. So that is there. So
I think it's even more important for franchise.
Oh, it absolutely is more important. I mean, I don't know. I think it's equally as important. I think it's equally as dope, just period. No matter which one it is, because you can get really attached to the player, and then you can also get attached to the history that you've built up. Now, there is one thing from a carryover standpoint that I think the show should do that they have not done yet, and they should have carryover roster saves. So, say for instance, like, because there are people, you think there's some elaborate NBA 2K rosters. There are some insanely elaborate custom MLB rosters, and to think that a person has to go and recreate that over every year, I think is kind of whack. I think you should be able to carry those over each year. So if I created a full roster set that isn't necessarily attached to a franchise mode, it's just a roster. There's no reason in my mind that I shouldn't be able to carry that over or convert that over to the next year. And like you said, if there's a minor thing where I gotta, like, with the carryovers this year, it messes up the hair and I gotta fix the hair for certain people, all the blondes or all the whatever, then whatever. It's fine.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than starting from scratch.
Something in chat real quick. Be the boss. He said, "What up, boss?" He said, "2K wants the microtransactions." This is something I'm trying to get communicated in 2K. If anybody from 2K is watching this show, seriously, people spend. Free-to-play games are already showing you this.
Yes.
When you give people something, they're willing to spend their money on more. You don't have to give people nothing so that they have to spend their money on something. That makes them pinch their pennies and stay stingy on it. And now that the shine is wearing off of 2K, now that everybody's really used to the animal of what 2K is, I think it's more important to allow people to spend their money on happiness rather than necessity. Instead of forcing us to spend our money on the first 4 dribbling upgrades, which our characters should always have across the board. Ain't no point guard in the NBA with a 45 dribble, 2K. Stop it, right? Like, instead of that being your mentality, you have, like, there's so many sneakerheads out there who won't really spend VC on their sneakers because they need that for boosts or for their characters or every time they make a new character. You have other things people can spend money on. You need to make them feel free to spend it by tightening up the grip a little bit. You'll get your microtransactions.
Man, I sat and watched the dude on a video yesterday because here's a little known thing about the latest patch for 2K. Everybody thought, like, the only thing that came through was the no taking it out to pushing, right? But 2K also added in do-rags.
Oh, I thought that was a mod. I saw that online.
No, I don't think it was a mod. I think it was actually for real. And I sat and watched the dude literally buying every single do-rag.
Yeah, of course. And this is what I'm talking about. If your content is cool enough, imagine if you had a hoodie you could pull up and put down in 2K, like in the game. I know you could do it in the menu screen, but I'm saying like in the game. People would, you know what I'm saying? People like that kind of stuff, man. So, that's the kind of stuff that they need to add. They need to, like, stuff like the skateboard being $1 billion and the 60,000 VC for the bike. That's why ain't no bikes.
Right.
You only see one bike every few days, and it's all like a 97 overall who ran out of money to spend. And he got to that 97 overall by throwing 400 to 600 hours into this game. Easy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's not, everybody should be running around on bikes. Like, because think about it. Like, like saying in Destiny, right? People will gather around in a circle with their emotions. They have all these choreographed dances online and like in the YouTube videos, and it's just community stuff that Bungie retweets, and it creates this good feeling. We would have bike troops circling around, doing little mini 2K bike tricks. It wouldn't be Tony Hawk. It would just be a little something, y'all throw together while y'all waiting for your friend to join up. And people would have YouTube videos on that. People be jumping in streams doing that. But ain't nobody got no bikes because ain't nobody throwing 60,000 VC on a bike when they just made a new character because they wanted to play a sharpshooter.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think just overall, I think you could also make the same case for my team, but we could do that that's a whole separate segment.
We're gonna be talking more my team on this show as the year goes on.
Yeah, for sure, and especially rolling into 2K20 because I'm interested in seeing what happens with that. But yeah, with the show though, road to the show. Here's the thing: all of those things I said are really true in terms of some of the setbacks, but at the end of the day, you get to play the show in road to the show. And because their gameplay is the absolute best part of their game, which obviously there could be much worse things, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay is the best part of the game. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I said this in my review, and I 100% mean this. Of all of the sports games in existence, and I have literally played all of them, whether it's a small one or a big one, MLB The Show has the most realistic, aligned with the sport that it emulates,
That's what it is.
gameplay
Yeah.
that there is out there.
Mm-hmm.
There 2K does not nail basketball the way the show nails baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Madden does not nail football the way the show nails baseball. WWE doesn't nail wrestling the same way. FIFA don't even nail soccer the same way. Pro Evolution doesn't nail soccer the same way. Even as much as I love EA UFC, it certainly doesn't nail MMA the way that the show nails baseball. So at the end of the day, even when there's all of these things that I shouldn't say all of these things. There's a few things that stick out that I don't like about the show, right? And most of it is about stagnation. But good gameplay is the thing that, that really compensates for a multitude of deficiencies. Because you can be slow in a couple areas if your gameplay is as tight as this is.
So, I mean, you definitely sold me on it. I'm like you and Jay sold me on it. I'm gonna definitely pick it up this year. Probably wait for this division stuff to calm down a little bit, and that might be my next thing I get into.
Yeah, it's good.
I love career modes. So let me ask you, as a career mode fan, what position would you suggest the most in getting into it?
If you want a challenge, shortstop.
Okay.
If you want to mostly hit and not have to really be worried about how bad you might be in the field, then I would say left field. Because if you're a shortstop is like you're gonna get a lot of balls. And there's more responsibility. You have to really be cognizant of the base path situation, where everybody is, or how many outs there are, just it's you gotta, because certain situation. And then, like, for me, like, I turn off what they call showtime. Showtime is the sports equivalent of bullet time from the John Woo games.
Oh, okay.
I turn that crap off.
Yeah, that's not.
That sucks. That's not sports.
Yeah, that's not sim.
I turn that totally off. So, and I feel good. I mean, I love it. But then, I really have fun playing player lock, because player lock is essentially Road to the Show without the story.
And in that, you're in a situation where, since the story and Road to the Show isn't this big production like my career,
you don't miss that much.
It's less of a difference. After the show, I want to have a brief conversation with you about that. I got one more question. How's the tutorial?
Very good. Very good. Now, because I've been playing the game for decades, or over a decade, it gets on my nerves because I don't really need it. And here's a great thing about the show. And I know I'm just gushing over the show, but here's a great thing about the show. The show never forces you to take their newfangled gameplay thing.
Okay.
Right. So if you have been enjoying this game for years, playing this way, they never take it out. They never take it out. So they'll say, okay, here's the new thing we did. Do you like it? If you don't, be like, I'm going back to the other thing. Yeah. Fine. And you still enjoy to play the game the way it was to begin with. Because I still use meter for pitching, and I still use zone hitting. The other thing is, the Madden did this 1 year and then stopped. They have dynamic difficulty.
Oh yeah.
So that in itself.
So as you get better the game.
Right. So that in itself, how you were talking about how the achievements are the story, or kind of replace the story. When you have it on dynamic difficulty, you're on this journey to get to like legend difficulty or whatever difficulty. And then you'll notice you might blow through the rookie part real quick, like by the third or fourth inning. Like if you really play the game and this is like your your 8th or 7th year playing the game,
Mm-hmm.
by the by the third inning, you're already blown past those first ones because you hit like 4 or 5 home runs already,
Yeah.
And the cool thing is they never turn dynamic difficulty off. So it's on in every single mode. So if you're doing
Oh.
exhibition, it's on. If you're doing it. So this is judging your literal your skill level in every aspect of the game. So I
Yeah.
think it's like dope. It's really dope.
Quick chat shout out. Crazy Girl said that her next purchase is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Invitation to everybody in Sim Nation. If y'all want this work, let me know. I will also be picking up Mortal Kombat, and we can have some fun in some lobbies. If y'all about that life, I extend that to Brian and Junior, who I know is also a player.
Yes. Actually, I'm actually supposed to be getting a closed beta invitation. They hit me up about it. About 2 or 3 days ago. I haven't gotten it yet. I think they said that I would get it by today, but I don't think I got it yet. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's that on the show. Digging it.